George Mason University Athletics has some new leadership. Beginning July 1st, Marvin Lewis will be the school's new full-time athletic director. He is hoping for a lot of wins and a lot of championships with all sports at George Mason.
The Germantown native brings an impressive resume, working in leadership roles at Georgia State, Georgia Tech, Maryland, and most recently at Brown University.
I want everyone to know we have something really, really special. President Washington and his university leadership team, they truly value intercollegiate athletics. And they've made a commitment to supporting us, which is instrumental into why I'm here.
Lewis is regarded as one of the rising stars in intercollegiate athletics.
Our student athletes are and will continue to be our North Star. Every decision we make will have student athletes in mind.
Lewis was a captain on the 2004 Georgia Tech Final Four team. He will pair with another Final Four alum, Tony Skinn, who led Mason to the Final Four in 2006 and was recently named Mason's men's basketball head coach in March.
I just want to reaffirm how excited I am to get to know you, to get to work with you, and to learn from you as we continue to elevate this athletics department. We're going to work hard and we're going to play hard. We're going to take our work seriously, but we're not going to take ourselves too seriously.
It certainly is a great day to be a Patriot. Marvin Lewis joins our Mason family as the 6th athletic director in school history. He joins an athletic department that is on the rise. It's been an incredible spring with both the softball team and baseball team winning A-10 championships and advancing on to the NCAAs. And of course, the women's track and field team winning an A-10 title this spring as well. The department has a new head men's basketball coach, bringing home Tony Skinn, a member of the 2006 Final Four team. Marvin is no stranger to athletic success, both as an administrator and as an athlete. As we heard in the video, he too is a Final Four participant, leading the Georgia Tech men's basketball team to the Final Four in 2004 as a senior captain. That makes George Mason the only Division I school to have both their men's head basketball coach and their athletic director as Final Four participants. Marvin's career at Georgia Tech, he scored just shy of 1,400 points, shot over 38% from three-point range. So Tony, if you're here and you need any shooting tips, I think Marvin will be glad to come and help out. His career as an administrator has taken him from Georgia State, Georgia Tech, Maryland, and Brown, his most recent stop. He helped guide Maryland through their transition to the Big Ten, serving as the chair of the Business and Travel Work Group within the Big Ten Integration Committee. He has served as an athletic department liaison to the Big Ten, the ACC, the CAA, and the Ivy League, and was named the 2018-19 College Athletic Business Management Association Manager of the Year. He successfully completed the prestigious NCAA Pathway Program for aspiring athletic directors and conference commissioners in 2020. And while Marvin did not attend at George Mason University, this is still a bit of a homecoming for our new athletic director. He grew up in Maryland, playing high school basketball for National Power Montrose Christian and their head coach, Stu Vetter. And this is where we can make the connection, Marvin, to George Mason that you may or may not be aware of. Stu Vetter was also the head coach of Mason's all-time leading scorer, Carlos Yates. So you share the head coach, kind of 2 degrees of separation, if you will, for George Mason. So at this time, I'd like to introduce the man who leads George Mason University, Virginia's largest and most diverse public university. Dr. Gregory Washington, Mason's 8th president, has launched several major initiatives since arriving in July 2020, including the Mason Virginia Promise and other programs that extend academic and professional opportunities to all Virginians. Dr. Washington has opened or broken ground on academic facilities on all 3 of Mason's Virginia campuses, and last fall, the university established the first College of Public Health in the state. With that, please welcome Mason President, Dr. Gregory Washington.
Well, thank you. Man, I love this. Standing room only? Oh, man, this is good stuff. Well, welcome to the welcome. It is so great to have you all here, and we're so pleased that you can join us this afternoon. I don't think we were expecting, obviously, with the number of chairs, we were expecting a crowd this big, and it's good to see a number of our basketball players here, and from the size of them, look like we might run out of food. So we might need to bring some more in. The excitement is real, and the excitement is because not only are we moving into a new era, but you heard what Bill said earlier. You got a Final Four head coach, a Final Four, a coach that made it to the Final Four, and an AD that made it to the Final Four. We are clear on what the expectations are. Make no mistake about it. Things have been going really well here, and I would be remiss if I didn't highlight that. Not only did we graduate the largest class of students in the history of George Mason University, but we just graduated the largest class of students in the history of any institution in Virginia ever. And that's a big deal. So our students are doing well. You heard some of the accolades earlier. Our athletes are doing extraordinarily well. The championships in softball, baseball, and track and field are phenomenal. But you may not know we have 51 Provost Scholar athletes, right? Our baseball team didn't just win the A-10, but they went into the regional and made some noise, right? Knocked off. And look, I have one of my very best friends is the president at the University of Maryland. And every time Maryland plays Mason, we have a bet. And that dude is tired of losing. In fact, I think they're gonna get to the point where they say, we just not gonna play them. We're just not gonna play them because he don't want to take that L. But look, so things are going well. So Marvin, you are coming into a situation where I wouldn't say the cupboard is full, but the cupboard is definitely not empty, right? This is not a rebuild. This is a reload. And so there's a lot here that is going on that we think is phenomenal. So what made Marvin Lewis the right person for this job? Why did we, why did we choose Marvin? Why did it make sense to have him? You saw a little bit about him in the video, but there are so many reasons. Look, first and foremost, in my discussions with him and in all the people that we engaged who talked with him, that his number one priority was always the student athlete. If you look at Mason's values, the very first one is students first. And so I always look to see where the person aligns with the things that we value and we value most. He's an innovator. He's a motivator that's also in alignment with our values. He's an authentic leader with a vision to identify, develop, maximize, and motivate talent. Well, if you think about Mason, if you think about who we are and where we and how we are positioned, no matter who you are, no matter where you are, especially if you're in this region or in this state, we will find you. We will provide an opportunity for you, and we will get you out and put you in a position where you can grow and start a career. So there is a match there that's real. It's no surprise to me that he was named College AD's next up in 2017, and in 2018, 2019, the College Business Management Association's Manager of the Year. He was fully qualified to be an AD anywhere in the country, but I believe, without a shadow of the doubt, that he is uniquely qualified to be an AD here at George Mason University. Something remarkable is happening here. I know you all feel it. I feel it too. We are on the cusp of that next big run, and that next big run involves all of our family, and I am just excited for what the future holds and for where we're all gonna go and for where we're all gonna go together. Now, as I before I bring Marvin up to the stage, I would be remiss if we didn't highlight that during this transition period, there were individuals who managed our organization, who kept that organization going, who kept athletics performing at an extraordinary peak. Is Nina Rogers here? I don't know if I can spot her in there. Nina, can you please stand up? And all of the leadership team here, please give them a round of applause. Look, so the reality is this: Marvin is everything we're looking for in a leader. He's the right person to guide Mason athletics to the next level in the Atlantic 10 Conference and nationally. We are so thrilled to have him here. And now, as many of you know, I often end my remarks with my two favorite words. And I can honestly say that after the spring we've had and the challenges that we've had this spring and what the future holds, I have never been more fired up, never, ever been more fired up than I am to say these two words: go Patriots. Marvin, welcome to George Mason University.
Good afternoon. One more time. Good afternoon. I love it. I love it. This is a huge moment for me. This is significant. President Washington, Dr. Washington just mentioned the standing room only, the amount of people that are here. Thank you so much for coming. From coaches to alumni, student athletes. This has been nothing but a warm welcome from as soon as we were announced. And I say we because this is a family affair. The Lewis family is truly here because I am truly home, which I'm loving. So yes, kudos to that. I want to give a thanks to Zach, Mark, Mo, Jeff, Molly, and the rest of the team that helped to put this event on. Zach, you did an amazing job networking and finding some photos that I have never even seen, so great job. But really, again, makes me feel really special, and appreciate all your work on that. Before providing some insight into who I am and why I believe we truly have something special here at Mason, I want to express my sincere gratitude to a number of other individuals that helped me get to this moment. First, I want to thank Dr. Washington. Thank you for the kind words in your introduction, but more importantly, the trust and the belief in me. Serving as Mason's 6th Director of Athletics and a member of your executive leadership team, I don't take the responsibility lightly, and I work as hard as possible to not let you down. To Drew Turner and the Collegiate Sports Associates team, Craig Escherick, who I know is here, and there are other members of the search committee, thank you for running a comprehensive, very thoughtful, and efficient search process. I felt very comfortable throughout the entire process, and a lot of that's to the, again, committee and the team behind the team. I know President Washington congratulated or at least acknowledged Nina Rogers, but I want to do the same. She really stepped up in Mason's time of need. She's provided steadfast leadership over the past 9 months, and she truly bleeds green and gold, whether that's as a student athlete, a coach, now an administrator. I just am so appreciative of all that she's done, and even with my transition in the past 30 days plus, she's taught me so much about George Mason, and I'm really proud to call her a teammate. So one more time, if you don't mind, please give Nina a round of applause. To the ICA senior leadership team, coaches and staff, leadership changes can be challenging, and they can bring about a great amount of uncertainty. And I've been through a few AD changes in my own career, so I know firsthand how challenging it can be. But Dr. Washington mentioned it earlier. I appreciate how much you've focused on the student athlete. I've been impressed by how you've kept the main thing, and continued to advance George Mason during this time. So again, thank you to the coaches, staff, and our leadership team in ICA. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank the team at Brown University. I spent a little less than 2 years there, and there's an old proverb that says, "We plan and God laughs." Well, Brown University wasn't originally in my plan. It was something that was new to me, and it was a new opportunity where Vice President and Director of Athletics, Grace Calhoun, she not only recruited my wife and I away from my alma mater, so she got me to leave Georgia Tech, which was a challenge. So she's a great recruiter, but she recruited us from Georgia Tech. But what was special about the Brown experience was she positioned, encouraged, and mentored me in a way that I hadn't previously experienced. She truly prepared me for this next chapter, and I want to give her thanks for allowing me to spread my leadership wings. She really gave me the opportunity to run and make things happen, and I truly appreciate that. I also want to thank the coaches, staff, and student athletes at Brown, as well as the greater campus community. They embraced a non-Ivy Leaguer, and I was nervous about coming into the Ivy League, but they just embraced me from the beginning and supported the vision of transforming Brown athletics and recreation. And I want to tell them, I'm rooting for you, except for when you play George Mason. And I can't wait to see what happens next for Brown University. In addition to Grace, I'm blessed to have worked for some of the most well-respected athletics directors in the country. Each leader has left an indelible mark on me and contributed to my leadership style that I bring here to Mason. So I do want to give thanks to Mary McElroy, Cheryl Levick, Kevin Anderson, Mike Babinski and Todd Stansberry. Their leadership, mentorship, and support has meant the world. And now that I'm in the chair, I'll be calling you all more often. So please don't screen my calls. pick up the phone when I give a shout, because I'm going to need your advice and your mentorship. But thank you. And now to my first and greatest mentors, sponsors, and cheerleaders, my family. My parents, Nathan and Lachey, are in the front row. My sister Leah's here. Thank you all for sharing in this moment with me. Just to give you a little insight into my family, my dad's a former high school basketball coach and a high school history teacher. So I'm a coach's son. And for all those that know what a coach's son is like, I'm motivated, I'm good to be pushed and challenged, but I'm a great listener. Especially when you have such a great leader as my dad. He consistently championed education, sport, faith, and service to others. And I saw that exemplified every day. Now my mom, she's owned her own medical billing company, and I've witnessed her work ethic, her determination, and her entrepreneurial spirit for the past 30 plus years. And so growing up in a home, when you put all that together, and you talk about faith, education, sport, serving others, and entrepreneurial spirit, all of that creates me and is in my DNA. And truly is a reason why I work in intercollegiate athletics. Because you blend all of that together in the work we do each and every day. And so Mom, Dad, I love you, I appreciate you, and just thank you for the love and support you've provided. Please give them a hand. I also want to acknowledge my sister Leah that's here. For those that may not know, Leah played basketball as well, and we're 7 years apart. But many times she was my road dog when we'd go to the park and get shots up. Now, I'd be the one that'd want to stay for hours. She'd only want to stay for about 10 minutes. Regularly, she would say, "Marvin, are we done yet? Can we go home?" But I appreciated you coming, and I appreciate all the love and support you've provided me over the years. So know that I love you as well, and thank you for sharing in this moment. For me, the real star of the hour, Callan. Callan is turning 11 years old on July 4th. And again, Daddy will get you fireworks on your birthday. He'll be heading into middle school this fall, and he actually flew up from Atlanta this morning. He got on the early flight from Atlanta, so thank you for coming. Callan will be at games and other events this upcoming season. Basketball players that are here know that he's gonna pick a favorite, but he won't tell you who. He loves the basketball team, but he's also picked up a new sport more recently. And when I first told Callan about this opportunity, the first question he asked was, "Does Mason have a soccer team? And can I play on their field?" I said, "Of course, Callan. They have a soccer team, a really good program, and you'll have a chance to play on their field." So Callan's actually going to go to camp this summer. So Coach Costanza, get ready. You got an 11-year-old headed your way. But he's really excited. And Callan, I love you to death. You're my heart. You're my everything. And I appreciate the love, the sacrifice that you've made to allow Daddy to pursue his dream. Thank you so much. And if you don't mind, please give him a round of applause. Last but definitely not least, I want to thank my wife, Shoshana. She's my life partner, my teammate, my complimentary piece, my better half, and my biggest supporter. You are one of the smartest, most dynamic people I've ever met, and I just can't wait for Mason Nation to get to know you and get to spend some time with you. and they'll start to see very quickly why I'm so happy that you choose me. Thank you for your love, your support, your encouragement, and for choosing to take this journey with me. I love you. All right. Yeah, give her a round of applause. Give her a round of applause. Thank you. All right, so you've met my family, I've given thanks, and now I want to tell you a little bit more about myself. First, as Dr. Washington mentioned, I truly value the student-athlete experience. My time at Georgia Tech was transformational. I had an amazing time playing in the Final Four, graduating with a degree from Georgia Tech, and I want to provide the same holistic experience that I had, if not better, for the student-athletes that are here at Mason. So as you heard in the video, student-athletes are my why. Student-athletes in the room, we do this for you. I wouldn't have a job if you weren't here. And so know that you will be a part of every decision we make. Anytime we're making a decision, whether it's financial, whether it's decisions on what support to provide, we're gonna focus on you each and every decision we make. I've also experienced a high level of athletic success. High school, I won a national championship my sophomore year. Mentioned in the video, I played in the Final Four in college, and even as an administrator, I've been a part of teams that competed for NCAA championships. So I understand the dedication, the sacrifice, the consistency, and the resiliency that's needed to create a champion. I also recognize the ecosystem of support that you need. And so we're gonna need Mason Nation to provide that support on a regular basis, but again, know that that's gonna be my priority, is making sure you have the resources to become a champion. Lastly, in my 15 years as an athletics administrator, I've also served on leadership teams that have transformed the athletic department and ignited the campus community. Whether it was Georgia State or Maryland, Georgia Tech or Brown, each required a bold vision, alignment with university leadership, a sound plan, and a commitment to operational excellence, as well as a determination to persevere through adversity. And I bring all of those experiences to Mason. Now, why Mason? What initially attracted me to Mason were the obvious. And again, Dr. Washington mentioned it earlier. The diverse, world-class academic programming is second to none. The history, as well as the current athletic success, bolsters the fact that not only can we win here, but we will win here. And if you don't mind, one more time, I would love to give a round of applause for baseball, softball, track and field, and what they've done this spring. But in addition to the world-class programming, the athletic success, we're also in a great conference, a nationally recognized conference that we can compete in. In addition, our location. I mentioned how this is home for me being from the DMV, but in my opinion, Mason is the best of both worlds. You have the intimacy of Fairfax and the community here, with access to Northern Virginia and our nation's capital. Doesn't get much better than that. And so that just scratches the surface as to what attracts me to Mason. But after doing some more research and having more conversations over the past month or so, I realized philosophically, I'm truly aligned with George Mason's vision, mission, and approach to higher education. I've always believed that education is power, and that starts with having a dad that's a high school history teacher and prioritized education in everything that we do. But not only is education power, it should be accessible by all that wish to pursue it. And here at Mason, that is what we do. If you want to pursue a great education, this is home. Now, a quick story that punctuates why, again, I know I'm at the right place. So during the search process, Shoshana and I took a quick trip from Providence down to George Mason. We wanted to see campus. And it had been over 25 years since I've been on campus. The last time I was on campus, it was on an unofficial recruiting trip with Coach Larinaga. He toured me around the Patriot Center before Eagle Bank. It was the Patriot Center. And I was just really curious to see how the campus has grown, what's changed. And as our great aunt would have said, I need to put my eyes on it. I needed to get down there and see it. I need to put my eyes on it. And so during the visit, we ventured around campus and we got into the student union. And on the way out of his office, there was a gentleman that greeted Shoshana and I. And I don't remember his name, but I'm going to find him once I get started. But he asked Shoshana and I, do you need any help? Are you new or potential students? Now, I'm 40 years old. Now, I get told I look young all the time, but I was shocked that he thought I was a first-year student. But Shoshana and I, from there, we paused. We told him that we were looking to join the Mason family, and he went on to describe the resources that Mason provides first-year students. And for me, that's what Mason is all about. We make no assumptions. We meet students where they are. We fully support the educational journey and the academic pursuits of all, from beginning to end. And I've said this before, but we do education right at Mason. So in addition, the success of an individual is predicated on the leader you work for and the team you work with. And from my initial conversations with Dr. Washington, it was clear that he not only valued intercollegiate athletics and its role in galvanizing the greater community, but he also wants a holistic student-athlete experience, and he wants to compete for championships. And those two things were really important for me to hear during the search process. And regarding the university leadership team, which many members are here today, I got a chance to attend the Executive Council retreat last week, and I left feeling inspired. I left feeling energized because I know I'm joining a team that's diverse, that's dynamic, that's collaborative, and that deeply cares about students, faculty, and the staff. And that was refreshing for me. I've been in other rooms where it wasn't as collaborative and it wasn't as collegial, so that was great to know that I'm joining a team, and I look forward to partnering and building bridges with each of you. So where do we go from here? What does the future hold? Well, my first 90 to 120 days will include listening, learning, and leading. I've already started my listening and learning tour and plan to spend significant time meeting with various stakeholders, and that includes students, student athletes, coaches, staff, donors, alumni, campus reps, the local community, and business leaders. I need to learn our history and how we arrived to today. I need to identify our strengths and our areas of distinction. I want to understand our challenges and our opportunities, but also brainstorm our future aspirations. Where do we want to go? And as we go through that listening tour and those conversations, I will also lead this department. There are key decisions that must be made right away and quickly for us to move our organization forward, and I'm fully prepared to make them as we move ahead, but I'm going to utilize our senior leadership team for help in making those decisions. The listening and learning tour will lead to the development of a shared vision and a strategic roadmap for Mason Athletics. We will embark on a collaborative process that comprehensively outlines who we are, where we want to go, and how we plan to get there. With that being said, I fundamentally believe for us to be successful, we need to do three things. First thing we need to do is create transformational student-athlete experiences. Second thing is cultivate a championship athletics department culture. And then the third thing is we need to relentlessly tell our story to inspire and mobilize the community. Now, to give you a little bit more insight or detail into those three things. So the transformational educational experiences, they need to spread across all 500 student athletes. And we want our student athletes to graduate with degrees that meet their interest and their career pursuits. We want to compete for championships. And not every program is set right now to compete for championships. So those student athletes, we want to make sure you compete in games that matter. Whether that's foreign tours, whether that are non-conference games that you can remember for the next 20, 30 years. We want to make sure you're competing in games that matter. But we also want to make sure that you're having non-traditional educational experiences outside of competition and outside of the classroom. So what does that look like? It could be service trips, international service trips. It's leadership development programming. It's financial education. It's internships. All those things are important for our student athletes to leave George Mason feeling confident and fully prepared to take on the next phase of life. In terms of cultivating a championship culture, that's not easy, but we can do it here at Mason. And it must permeate throughout the department and serve as our differentiator. We will be inclusive, we'll be collaborative, we'll be people-centered, and conduct our work with pride, integrity, in the pursuit of operational excellence. We will do our very best to set the standard in everything that we do. And then lastly, we must tell our story. And not just any story, we got to tell the Mason story. We must showcase our unique value proposition, celebrate our areas of distinction, and establish and leverage great partnerships. We must also creatively engage our students, our fans, our donors, and the local community to garner as much support and resources for our student athletes. And as we tell our story, as we relentlessly tell our story, we must remember that it's not just the words that are said, but it's how we make people feel when they interact with us. And that's going to be our priority, is making sure that people feel great about the connections they have with George Mason. So with that, if we accomplish those three things, transformational student-athlete experiences, championship culture, and we tell our story, I believe the foundation that we build will only grow over time. We'll turn our potential into truly sustainable results. And I vow to do everything in my power to build upon, again, that foundation. And it's going to take every member in Mason Nation to give us your very best. I'm going to give mine. I know our student athletes will give theirs, and we need our Mason Nation to give their very best to support our students. And I know together we can achieve the impossible. So I'll close by noting that my family and I are overjoyed to join Mason Nation, and I just can't wait to get started. So thanks again for the warm welcome, and go Patriots.
On behalf of Mason's over 500 student athletes, welcome to Fairfax. We look forward to competing and reaching new heights together.
Marvin, it's Mark Ginsberg, Provost and Executive Vice President. Great to welcome you to Mason. We're thrilled to have you as our new Director of Intercollegiate Athletics. You know, our campus community is also thrilled to welcome you to Mason Nation and to the Mason family. And we're so proud of our why. The 500 student athletes who represent Mason in the classroom and in competition throughout our university and throughout the region and throughout the Atlantic 10. We are here to support you as you begin a new and exciting era for Mason athletics. Welcome, Marvin. Welcome to your family. Congratulations, and let's go Patriots.
Hi, Marvin. I'm so excited to welcome you to Mason. My name is Josh Kinchin, and I'm the director for our LGBTQ+ Resources Center. As you might already know, we're ranked in the top 10 of all Division I schools for our score on the Athletics Equality Index, including being the national model for our partnership between the LGBTQ+ Center and the athletics division. I am so excited to partner with you and the rest of the athletics division on so many initiatives, but specifically including our annual Pride Game. Welcome to Mason.
Hi Marvin, welcome to Mason. My name is Hope Miller. I'm the Associate Director for Campus Events in the Student Involvement Office, and on behalf of everyone in student involvement, we want to make sure you feel really welcome here on campus at George Mason University. We're looking forward to working with you on our huge campus traditions like Gold Rush and Homecoming, and on building all kinds of new opportunities to bring students and athletics together. So go Patriots and hashtag Mason Nation. Welcome.
Hey Marvin, on behalf of Jim McKay Chevrolet and myself, I want to extend a warm welcome to you as the new athletic director of George Mason University. We are thrilled to have you join our community, and we look forward to supporting your leadership and vision. As a local dealership deeply committed to excellence and teamwork, we are excited to partner with you and the athletic program. Together we can achieve great things and create a winning culture. We look forward to seeing you at the dealership. Let's have some fun. Go Mason!
Marvin Lewis. On behalf of the Green Machine, the nation's #1 pep band, we just want to say, welcome to Mason!
Marvin, on behalf of our athletic department, we are excited to welcome you and your family to George Mason University.
Go Patriots!